Hey, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Tim.
I'm Rod.
And today we're taking a look at Super Dungeon Explorer, and it's put out by Soda Pop Miniatures. And this plays one player on up. So however many players that you want to play, you just add another tile for each player. So to get started, Rod, do you want to tell us about the components that you get with this game?
And before I even start on that, I'll do a real quick story on this game. This game, when I went to my first Gen Con, which was about 4 or 5 years ago, my son found this game. It was being tested at the time, the very first one. He sat there forever playing it. I personally thought, what a waste of time. It was anime. Stay away. So anyway,
It's more chibi than.
so when he got it Christmas morning, when they actually got to play, they gave him a thing that they called a spawn point. When he woke up Christmas morning and he got the game, he actually had in his pocket the spawn point that they gave him at the Gen Con. So anyway, he's a fanatic. So so let's go into the game real quick. So quality of the game components. First of all, the miniatures. They may be the best miniatures that I've seen on any game.
Board game.
Any board game, right?
Board game.
I would agree.
Let's clarify.
Anything that's in plastic. So anyway, these are fantastic quality miniatures. If you were to buy this for Dungeons and Dragons and you were to buy individual pieces and they were metal, you'd be paying a good amount for each one.
About $30 per on these big ones.
Yeah, I mean, these are fantastic. I mean, the quality, the detail on them. Fantasy Flight, who we always praise on the quality of their miniatures, I would say that these are better than their miniatures for their board games. These are fantastic. The cardboard stock is fine for the board. It stays together well when you're playing. The cards, well, they're decent quality, but he's put every one of them inside one of these little things. He's treasuring it anyway. So all in all, the quality components, probably the best I've seen on any game.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right. Tim, do you want to tell us about the rules and how hard or easy it was to get into this game?
Yeah, the rules, which I don't have available at this point, but they're pretty well done. It's all easily explained on this. This is the second version, basically, of this game that you're seeing in front of us. This is not the original. This is the one where you don't have to have an Overlord player, or whatever it was they called Overlord. This one, everybody, is complete 100% co-op game on this one. But yeah, so it's easy to learn, especially if you knew the other one. Almost everything is played off of your card here, and they explain that really well. So you've got all your reference material just sitting right in front of you. Everything just fits real well together, so you always know what you can do, what's available to you. So there's no like huge reference book that you have to keep constantly looking up. There are some bold words on the cards that you will until you figure out what they are, you'll probably have to check on them a couple times. But for the most part, they're all the same. So once you've got one, once you get it down, it's pretty simple. So overall, easy game to learn. Especially if you had, like we did, we had somebody that taught us, like at Gen Con, and then from that point on, his son was teaching us all the different stuff of it. But yeah, so as far as instructions go, it's good.
All right, great. So in Super Dungeon Explorer, it's basically like they took an arcade game, like an old school arcade game where you're just slamming the buttons and killing all the monsters really quickly. They took that and like totally just threw it down and it turned into a board game. That's what Super Dungeon Explorer is. So like Tim said, in this version of the game, it's totally co-op. So you get at least 2 characters and then the monsters. And so a turn basically works where they let 2 of the characters go, they do what they're able to do, and then the monsters go. And then the next people go, and then the monsters go. So it goes back and forth, back and forth. And so there's a deck of cards that has to do with the monsters. So after the heroes go, then you'll just flip the card, and then it tells you what to do next with the monsters. And so then they just advance towards the characters, and then whoever, there's a certain character that has the most kills, whoever's done the most kills, the monsters are going to go after them first. And so, but it plays really quick, and so it really does mimic an arcade game really well in that you're able to destroy the monsters and then they all reappear again. and it's really cool. So like Tim said, everything that you need to know is going to be on your character card. And so it's going to tell you how far that you can move, and it's cool because they kind of have that like as a directional pad, so it tells you that's how far I can move. And then the button there tells you how many actions that you can do on a turn. So moving is an action, attacking is an action, and then you have special actions that you can do. And some of those require a potion, some of those require more than one action to do. And so it's just that simple. So on your turn, you're going to be trying to attack the monsters, and basically the goal of every game is to destroy these spawn points. And so you destroy the spawn points. There might be super bosses that come out, whatever the term is for those, the extra hard guys will appear, and then you have to attack them. And once all the spawn points are destroyed, then you win the game. And so there are other things that come in the game, like you're going to be able to get special abilities, you're going to be able to pick up treasures throughout the game, those kinds of things. And I know it's a very simplified explanation of it, but that's really the premise and how you play Super Dungeon Explorer.
So one of the things too, I guess I didn't mention was, like the boards are very colorful, like you expect out of a game.
Arcade game, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's really neat. The boards themselves are outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the benefits, and I forgot to mention how attacks work. So basically you have dice, and so the card will tell you how many dice that you're going to be rolling on a turn when you attack a monster. And so it's real simple, you're just looking for stars. And so if you get enough stars to attack the monster, then you can kill him. And there are other things where you could pick up potions or hearts. And what they were describing is like in a video game, when you destroy a monster and out pops a potion, you can pick it up. And then everybody in your group, this is group resources, so if somebody needs it, they can use it. And you can also heal, so if you need a healing, if you've taken wounds, that you can do that. Or if you've taken some kind of a damage effect, like poison or something, you could use the heart to get rid of that. And so the attacking is very, very simple. It's just straightforward. How many stars did you get? Is that enough? And then move on. So. Yeah, so that lends itself really well to that fast-paced arcade game where you're like, beat them up, see what happens, and then move on. So.
Yeah, and I think that's the big. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that's the biggest advantage of the game, fast-paced.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the variety that they're able to pack into this, where you're not having the same pieces over and over again, because something like that where you're just swimming through monsters. It gets old, like, oh, this, the 36th kobold I've killed this turn, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
This deck, shows, how many different,
crazy.
bad guys that they can have, with different abilities and whatnot. And then, of course, your heroes. We've got like a hero deck, and here's all
It's huge, yeah.
all the different heroes and stuff. And then, of course, your heroes, when they're fighting mini bosses, can earn special treasure, and some of the special treasure are pets,
Right.
which pets can help you out. They can do actions or attack with you and stuff like that. So
And there's things like collectability. Like this is a game definitely because the first version is not out anymore. It's very collectible because those miniatures probably won't be made again because when it originally came out, you had to put the pieces together, which was a nightmare. Now they all come together, but that's the one thing. It's got a collectible factor to it. All the miniatures themselves are like you said, are
Amazing.
just great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people could be pulled to play this game. I think.
Definitely.
and anybody that falls for the whole expansion thing, where let's invest a little bit more money in it. Oh, there's another expansion, a little
Let's
bit more.
get it.
Which is what they have done, but it's
Yeah.
good. They've got some
Yeah.
good stuff out there. They add bosses, they've added monsters. It just adds to the game for some of us.
Sure, yeah. All right. Well, at the end of our reviews, we like to do a 1-die rating. Buy it, play it, or hate it. So green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it. So we are going to reach into our bags and get out our die and reveal. Oh! It was almost a 3 green. It was almost.
So close.
So close.
Jimmy,
Sorry. Okay.
Tell us why.
So, okay, you go ahead. Tell us why you gave it a green.
All right, I gave it green because they did improve over the last version. I played the Overlord, and it's kind of harsh on the Overlord version because everybody's kind of picking on him,
Yeah.
and it gets mad if he does anything good. Because it does feel like an arcade. You're running through, and you're like, as soon as you get stopped and he starts killing somebody, it's like, oh, that's kind of sad. But now that it's co-op, and then you're just fighting the monsters, and everybody's working together and sharing everything, It feels really good. So you're not the one lone man out on the game. It really surprised me.
Mhm.
And it still plays just as fast and just as fun.
Cool. I gave it a white, and it's the whole rating of would I buy it or would I just play it, and that's where I fall in this one. I just fall in that if you guys said on a Saturday, let's play this one, I'd play it with you. I'd say let's go, let's get. But I don't know, there's something, and don't tear me apart for this, but there's just something about it that there's just a few other games that are in this genre, this style of game with characters and you're attacking monsters that I would rather play, that I would probably rather buy than this one. And that's not a knock against the game as far as the quality and what it is, because it does play quick, it's easy to learn, and then you can build up your character. But there's just a few other ones in this
Sure.
this idea that I would rather invest my money into than this one. So that's why it's a white.
The reason it's green is it plays fast, and I just do not like anime, but the miniatures are fantastic. The quality of the game is great. Now, I understand this is an expensive game. This is not a cheap game, but it's the value. You get a ton out of it, so the value is fantastic. So would I gave it a green because anyone who likes anime, who enjoys board gaming, this is your game. Now, I could have rated it a white if I was taking it for myself completely because my son has the game, right? And he plays it. Now, would I have ever gone out and bought it? I never would have bought the game. But because of now I've played it,
yeah.
it's fantastic. Now, and like you said, there are other games out there that are a little more in depth and you do a little different and it takes a little longer. And, there's the Star Wars and there's the Descent, and those ones that we play that are good too. But for what this is trying to do, does it at a very high level.
That's awesome.
Yep.
All right. So that's our review of Super Dungeon Explorer. We've got a lot more reviews on our website, boardgamecloset.com. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And as always,
Support your local hobby shop and your local gaming cafe.